Hey everyone, I hope that all of you would have a good day. I wish it to continue all the day. Before getting into the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And do the same for my other channels also. The link is in the description. Let's get into the video. 1 September 1985, Canada RMS Titanic located. 1985, a joint US-French expedition locates the wreck of the RMS Titanic, the British luxury liner that struck an iceberg and sank in 1912, with the loss of 1,513 lives. 400 miles east of Newfoundland in the North Atlantic. 1 September 1914, Russia, St. Petersburg. 1914, St. Petersburg, the capital of the Russian Empire, changed its name to Petrograd. 1 September 1923, Japan, Great Kanto earthquake. 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake struck Tokyo and Yokohama on the main island of Honshu, killing around 100,000 people. 1 September 1928, dedicate Lincoln Highway. 1928, at 1 p.m. groups of Boy Scouts placed approximately 2,400 concrete markers at sites along the Lincoln Highway to officially mark and dedicate it to the memory of Abraham Lincoln. 1 September 1932, New York mayor resigns. 1932, the New York City mayor James Walker, who had been the mayor since being elected in 1926, is forced to resign following charges of graft and corruption in his administration. 1 September 1939, Germany invades Poland. 1939, German troops invade Poland by sending in 1.5 million troops at the same time the German Luftwaffe bombed Polish airfields. The attack came without any declaration of war by Germany. Great Britain and France sent Hitler an ultimatum to either withdraw German forces from Poland or face the two nations in war, and 2 days later Britain and France declared war on Germany. 1 September 1943, end of war in sight. 1943, both Prime Minister Winston Churchill and President Roosevelt have been to Canada in the last week and are now scheduled for further talks as the Axis powers start to crumble. The war is now entering its 5th year since Germany invaded Poland in 1939. They both thanked Canada for their efforts in the war, but warn we have come so far and must not be downhearted as the end is in sight. 1 September 1943, British bombers bomb Berlin. 1943, large fleets of British bombers used blockbusters and incendiary devices in a major attack on Berlin last night, raining fire and exploding steel in the 76th bombing attack on the city. 1 September 1954, USA Hurricane Carol. 1954, Hurricane Carol landed on the shores of the northeastern states, with winds in excess of 105 mph, causing widespread damage and taking 35 lives in Massachusetts, Connecticut and Rhode Island. The area has not seen a storm of this ferocity since 1938. 1 September 1960, betting shops to become legal. 1960, the new Betting and Gaming Act has been passed, which will bring into force legalized betting shops on British high streets and will come into law from May 1st next year. The new law, which will allow anyone old enough to walk into a betting shop and place a bet on British horse racing. Ladbrokes quickly asserts dominance, becoming the largest chain. 1 September 1965, China objects to US base. 1965, China is launching an official protest to the British government for allowing US forces to be based in Hong Kong as part of the US military force against North Vietnam. 1 September 1969, Libya bloodless coup. 1969, a group of military officers, led by Muammar Gaddafi, have seized power in Libya, declaring the country to be a republic, deposing King Idris. 1 September 1972, Bobby Fischer becomes world chess champion. 1972, American Bobby Fischer becomes the world chess champion in Reykjavik, Iceland, defeating Boris Spassky of the Soviet Union. He had become the youngest United States junior chess champion at 13 years old, followed by the US championship at age 14, and many consider him to be one of the greatest natural talent chess players ever. 1 September 1976, defense against communist forces. 1976, following the success of communist North Vietnam, Australia, a country the size of the continental US with a population less than Greater New York, is looking to America for its defense and protection. 1 September 1976, UK severe water shortages. 1976, as the water shortages worsened due to the lack of rainfall and the driest 16-month period since records began. Water standpipes are being erected in parts of the country where water reservoirs are at their lowest level. Some areas of the country water authorities have begun turning off water for as long as 6 hours per day, and companies are facing limits on the amount of water they can use, up to 50% of normal, in an attempt to preserve supplies until the rain comes. 1 September 1983, Russia shoots down Korean airliner. 1983, Soviet jet fighters shoot down a Korean Airlines passenger flight in Russian airspace, killing 269 passengers and crew members. 1 September 1989, USA airbag laws. 1989, new car safety legislation required all newly manufactured cars to install an airbag on the driver's side. Back-in-time gifts. 1 September 1989, Japan Lexus launch. 1989, Toyota launches new luxury cars as a new brand, the Lexus, hoping to compete with other major luxury car makers around the world. 1 September 1997, Princess Diana investigation. 1997, investigators into the car accident that killed Princess Diana have revealed that the driver Henry Paul was drunk and speeding at close to 120 miles per hour when the accident happened in the Place d'Alma underpass in Paris on August 31st. 1 September 1999, USA Beanie Babies. 1999, Time Warner Toys announces on their website that on December 31st Beanie Babies will be retired. Together with the announcement, a small pint-sized black bear called The End is announced. Following continued consumer demand, Time Warner changes his mind and Beanie Babies are still made to this day. 1 September 2000, Internet fraud case. 2000, the FBI arrest Mark Jacob, who has perpetuated a new type of financial fraud via the internet. Mark Jacob had put out a fake press release claiming that the Emulex company's chief executive had resigned and that it had inflated its previous earnings. The result was a drop in stock value of 60%, knocking $2.5 billion off Emulex market capitalization value. 1 September 2001, asylum seekers in Eurotunnel. 2001, 100 more asylum seekers are captured in the Eurotunnel compound at Coquel prior to their attempt to illegally enter the UK. This is the third such attempt in a short time span, and the British government is pressing ahead with legislation that will fine Eurotunnel £2,000 for every illegal immigrant found to have entered through its services. 1 September 2004, Chechen rebels take children hostage. 2004, an armed gang of Chechen separatist rebels enters a school in southern Russia and takes more than 1,000 people hostage, including children and their families, on the first day of the new school year. During the siege that followed, more than 330 died, most of them being children. 1 September 2006, Iran plane crash. 2006, a plane traveling from Bandar Abbas in Iran skidded off the runway and burst into flames, killing a total of 29 people. 1 September 2008, Japanese Prime Minister resigns. 2008, the Prime Minister of Japan, Yasuo Fukuda, declared he was going to resign after less than a year in the position. The surprise announcement came amidst dropping popularity of his government, political deadlock, and economic troubles. 1 September 2009, Canada oil sands projects. 2009, Asia's largest oil company, PetroChina, bought a majority stake for $1.7 billion in 2 oil sands projects in Canada. The oil sands are thought to be the second largest oil reserves in the world, but cost a lot to extract. 1 September 2011, U.S. troops have no fatalities in August. 2011, U.S. troops in Iraq faced no fatalities in the country during the month of August, the first time since the invasion in 2003. Officials stated that August was the first month without any hostile deaths or non-combat deaths. 1 September 2012, apology from thalidomide maker. 2012, the German company Grunenthal that manufactured thalidomide, a drug used to cure morning sickness in the 1950s that was also linked to birth defects, apologized for the first time in 50 years to people who had been born with birth defects after their mothers took the drug while pregnant. 1 September 2013, Vietnam internet restrictions. 2013, new internet restrictions have come into effect in Vietnam. The law banned internet users in Vietnam from talking about current affairs. The law states that social media websites, blogs and other websites are only allowed to share personal information and cannot share news stories. Internet companies as well as many human rights groups have criticized the law. Here, we are coming to the end of the video. Before quitting the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And do the same for my other channels also. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching.